I've dug a lot of the floor out. So far I'm up to about 40 buckets of rubble, and I've been digging out underneath the wall here. So yeah, here you can see I've put in a couple of bricks and mortared them in underneath there, because there used to be big stones under there that were about they were about this height, so they would have been visible in the casting of the floor. Whew, so here we are, about 25 buckets later. The floor is getting to the point where it's at the right level now, pretty much all around. It's a bit bumpy, but that should be fine. I'm going to spread some of this stuff out to fill these holes, fill these gaps here, like that. And so yeah, what needs doing still? At the moment I'm digging out underneath this wall a little bit, and I'm putting in some stones and some new bricks to just sort of firm it up, because the wall's a bit damaged here, and also it's just built on mud. Basically from here it's just mud, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick that mud out and put in some stones or bricks under that, because that'll actually be visible, because you can see the level of the floor there, which is what the level this floor will be at. It'll be the same as that, and you can see the mud is just going to be visible, so I'm going to put some bricks or stones there. I've already done that here. I've put in a little new brick there and some stone, mix of stone and brick just to firm up this pillar. I've done the same here, and I'm going to keep taking some of these stones out here and maybe even place some of these bricks or fill them in, I'm not sure yet. But yeah, it's basically the floor's kind of level now, and yeah, just sort of picking away at the last corners and filling in the old walls. Okay, a bit more progress here. I've dug out a bunch of these stones in the corner here and propped up the wall with some bricks, and I'm going to wait for that to set, wait for the mortar to go off a bit, and then I'll probably get the middle ones out here, so get those out and then finish building the wall along underneath. And over here I have started constructing a small wall, so this wall will be just like a raised cupboard area, I guess. The reason I'm doing this is because this bedrock here is just too hard to get out. You know, it's solid rock. All the flaky stuff, I've taken the flaky stuff off, but what's left is basically just solid rock. So you can't get rid of it, and what I've done instead is built this wall, and I'm going to probably fill this with a load of rubble and then cast a slab over the top of concrete, and I'm also going to brick this up, just going to brick the whole thing up. So here's a little progress update. Yeah, the wall is nearly finished. It's 2 bricks thick, and it's going to go up to this beam to support this, and then I'll just finish it to there so that it's flush, and I will put some bricks up to the top here so that this has a bit of extra support. I've also bashed out a pretty large hole in this wall, which I'm going to quickly brick up, and I've put this piece of wood in here, which is going to be a little lintel or a little beam going across, and I'm going to bash all of this out, and there's going to be like a separate little storage hole here. You can see in the roof, there's a slightly sloping roof, and there's the wall I've just recently built. So this space is now accessible again, but the nice thing is you don't have to anymore crawl in under the stairs from here. You can just sort of reach in from here. Right, here's the wall finished. It's a bit hodgepodge, but it's all going to be plastered, so it shouldn't be too bad. Here I had to do a tower of bricks, which is not the best way to do it. It's better to lock them together like this, but that's tricky here because there's not much space to do that, so I just whacked 3 in a tower and sort of splodged a load of, there's a bit of brick in there, and then I've just squished mortar all around it. That's all built up to the beam, under the beam, supporting the stairs a little bit. And here I've got a little cubby hole, so I put in this wooden beam and filled in bricks above it. Again, it's all going to get plastered, so this will be looking pretty nice. And then just started building the wall here, and then in here there's actually a decent amount of space in there to put some crates or something, maybe bottles of wine, I don't know, we'll see. It's a nice useful little cubby hole. So I think everything is done now in preparation for casting the floor. You can see here this is all bricked up nicely. I just finished this here. That's all bricked up. You can see here I've had to kind of patch it a little bit. The bricks don't perfectly interlock, and that's because I started the base layer kind of at the wrong level. I didn't think that through properly, but it's not too bad. It's all going to get plastered. Here's a nice little cubby hole with a new lintel across it, and in there, grab that light. So in there is currently just sort of rubble basically, and the bedrock at the back. So I'm going to do a casting on top of that. So I put some stones down here, and I'm going to cast a slab of concrete over it. Same goes for in here. After consulting with a builder, he said if you're unsure, it's always safer to put some rebar in there to make sure it's strong. So yeah, that's all ready now. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna cast this big slab, and I just finished casting in here as well. So that's just done by eye level really. I use the spirit level a little bit, but looks good. This is drying up nicely over here, and yeah, so this is all laid. It's ready to go. Get that cement mixer on in the morning. Cement mixer's on, and in here I've already chucked a couple of buckets worth in there. That hasn't been levelled off yet. I'm going to mix up quite a few loads and then level it off. And I've also added this string here, which is screwed into the frame I've made, and that string goes up to the ceiling and then along here. And when I've levelled off the whole floor, I'm going to pull on that and I'm going to lift the whole frame up and out of the casting. And I think that will do the least damage to it. It will definitely leave a slight imprint, but I don't think that's going to be a massive problem really, and I can't think of a better way to do it, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I've done it. That was a lot of buckets. I was mixing buckets of concrete for a good 2 hours, slopping it in there and levelling it off. Now the challenge will be to get the frame I made out, so I'm going to give that a go now. Ooh, crikey. So here's the rig thing, the little frame, and I've just strung that up. I'll leave that until the floor is dried. And there's the floor, not quite as smooth as it was before, but the frame's out. It's looking pretty good. I can walk on it. It's been drying now for about 24 hours, I think. So it's still pretty soft and easy to sort of scratch and dent. So I'm being careful. But it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm going to give it another 24 hours or so. And then I'm going to probably fill this room with some tools and stuff temporarily, because I need to make some space upstairs. So it's quite dark in here, but I've got, with some help, I've got some shelves in here with all my tools. some wine in there, my bike, some materials, some wood, some more tools, and a bunch of paint in here. Very dark, you can hardly see. Yeah, very dark, but you can hardly see it, but it's looking good. The room is it's kind of functional now, and I think I'm not gonna do any more on this room until the rest of the house is finished, because this really is just a storeroom. But I'm happy with it as it is. It's this is great progress really. Yeah, it's looking good.